What's up, Trojan fans? Welcome to Tunnel Vision Halloween edition. I am your host, India Otto, aka Automatic, here alongside Connor Morrissette, aka Triple Double, and the boss man, elf man himself, Ryan Abraham.
Yes.
We've got a special show for you. We are going to discuss the Trojans and what they need to do to get a road win after the Notre Dame loss against the Nebraska Cornhuskers, and we will preview the Nebraska Cornhuskers, and we are taking live calls today. We want to hear from you. So the number to call is 512-4TUNNEL. And as always, leave your questions, comments, concerns in the chat. I will favorite it, and we'll get to questions at the end. But we've got an exciting show today. I came back from some travels this week, so I'm ready to go. And it's Halloween edition, guys. How you feeling? I'm loving the costumes.
Thanks. Automatic was in our homeland.
Yeah.
She was back in Massachusetts.
It was a blast.
Meeting all the massholes and stuff. Yeah, we're live on YouTube, live on Facebook. Questions, comments, no concerns today. We don't want your concerns.
Yeah,
that's
no
fine.
concerns.
It's Halloween. Happy Halloween, everybody. We have a tradition of dressing up. Chris usually crushes it when he dresses up. He goes all out on the costumes, and we got India as herself.
I'm myself.
So I guess if you're like that important,
was a little
you
late
can
to the
dress up as
game
yourself.
this Halloween, but I had to bring out the vintage USC jersey, so I'm myself in my heyday years.
Yeah,
So,
we got
an
Spaceman. He's got some spacey takes, and the elf. And I don't know if these stay on. Yeah, but we got a fun show for you today. We're going to preview USC and Nebraska, the Cornhuskers. Maybe a little revenge game. USC, if you remember last year, Dana Holgerson takes over as the play caller. I think USC was the first game, if I'm not mistaken. And USC had a new starting quarterback for Nebraska. So that was an interesting one. USC scored, I think, four of the touchdowns USC scored, none of those players are back. Sierra Wright scored one of those touchdowns. He's back, but he's no longer a Trojan. He plays for Nebraska. There's a lot of interesting storylines here. Both teams have 2 losses. Basically an elimination game if you want to make the college football playoff. Nebraska's got an easier path than USC. They don't have that trip to Oregon on the books. But I think for USC, it's more about getting right on the road. Like, winning at Purdue was fine. Kicked a bunch of field goals. It just didn't look like a super clean game. And Purdue's kind of struggle bust since that game. I thought they'd be pretty good, and they haven't been. Nebraska's pretty good. I don't think they're great. So USC needs to go and show that they can win a big one on the road.
It's a big sign of progress if they can get this done, which is why I'm so excited for it. You mentioned the records of the teams, two lost teams. I'm not even thinking college football playoff at this point, but you're absolutely right. The winner stays in that mix. The loser, for all intents and purposes, is out. And we talked about it Wednesday, Ryan. USC beating Nebraska on the road, that would be a big sign of progress from a year ago when USC didn't win any games outside of Los Angeles in the Big Ten. The lone road win in the Big Ten was UCLA. If this game was at home, I'd be really confident in USC. The fact that it's on the road, I'm a little bit confident, but it's the big elephant in the room. We don't know if this team has what it takes to go out there and win against a solid opponent on the road, even with a lot of this matchup favoring the Trojans. So it'll shut up a lot of people if they win. I think it's really important for that. There's a lot of coaching carousel stuff out there, which we talked about Wednesday. Lincoln Riley today, I asked him what gives you confidence that you can get over the hump and win against a good team on the road, and he talked about how at Oklahoma he had one of the longest road winning streaks. Like, he's tired of this crap, and so I hope they play like it.
Yeah, go win then. Like, people won't talk about it if you win games, and you have to do that. And I think, yes, it's very important for USC to go and play well. It was very important to win the Michigan game, and I think, and I just did a radio show right before this and talking about, like, what was the difference? USC had 2 different bye weeks. The Illinois game was disappointing. You let Luke Altmaier go bananas, and he looked like a Heisman Trophy winner or something, and you get the loss, and it was one that you felt like USC could have played a lot better. They had time to recover. They get Michigan at home, and they push them around. And I think you felt really good. It was a very important game, probably the most important game of the season. You needed that one, and Michigan looks like a good team. So that was, not a fluke. Hey, USC played well, but you didn't follow it up. You fell back, flat on your face again and didn't play well. And I think it takes away some of the goodwill that you got from winning the Michigan game. And now it's like, well, do you feel confident coming out of the bye week? There's no home game now. This is a road game that you're going to have to go play. And so I don't know. The vibe's just a little bit different. It doesn't really matter what players are saying or what coaches are saying. It's really just, can you come out and figure something out? Whatever you're doing wrong on the road, fix it. If you want to fly on a Tuesday, if you want to eat, don't eat a meal, if you want to go vegan, I don't care whatever you want to do. Just do whatever you need to do and go play well on the road. And we'll see how, Lincoln Riley and the coaching staff is able to just fire this team up. You have to show that you're capable of leaving home, getting on a plane, and playing some good football. And we just haven't seen that in the last couple of years. So it's a really important game for me. I don't put it up in the Michigan category, but it's pretty high up there.
It's high up there just with all the negativity right now. We talked about on Wednesday, like, the team's 5-2, they're ranked in the top 25, but it doesn't feel like it because you're coming off of a Notre Dame game where we thought you fired Alex Grinch and you weren't going to give up career highs anymore. Oh, wait, Jeremiah Love goes for 228. When USC loses, even when they're in these games, it's like these historical performances from the opponent, and I don't even know how to describe it. It's like if they had just lost and they came up short without a historical performance, would it feel better? Maybe that's a stretch, but how they've lost, it's kind of a kick in the nuts when you give up the best quarterback rating of all time to Luke Altmaier in his career, and you give up the career high to Jeremiah Love. It's like, this is why Danton Lynn was
like the all-time
back.
Notre Dame rushing total. Like that's the greatest performance in a Notre Dame uniform in that stadium.
So you can be below average, but can you not be the worst ever? And that's sort of the baseline where when USC's played good teams on the road, that's what it's been like. So we can get into the matchups where Dylan Raiola, the quarterback for Nebraska, I haven't been very impressed with him this year, but their receivers are capable. He's a guy where if he has time, he can pick you apart. He dinks and dunks, doesn't throw it down the field a whole lot. I think USC should win that matchup. They should be able to get to him. They should be able to pressure him, make him uncomfortable. They have some receivers, like I said, but no one that really scares you. And Isaiah Hunter's probably the best guy. The running game is the big thing for them, and USC had a big issue against Notre Dame. But Notre Dame had two guys, and Emmett Johnson's just the lone back for Nebraska. They don't really have another guy behind him, and he's tough, a physical runner. I just hope there's a response after what we saw against Notre Dame, because that's what football is. You don't play well, you get all pissed off, and then you come back and you play better. That's what USC's been so far this season. So the response in the run game, I think, is going to be whether they win it or lose it. If they play a good game defensively against the run, that's kind of the key to me. If Raiola picks them apart, so be it. I just don't see that happening. I think the key is to stop Emmett Johnson.
All right. Hey, India, I don't know if you want to come on the screen too. So I know there's some stuff in the chat. So we are live on YouTube and Facebook. We appreciate you coming in, putting your questions, comments, and concerns. There's some newsy things I just want to talk about just with our website. We're just going to get into this quick with Chris Trevino. And I know yesterday was a really hard day for all of us. And I gave a longer explanation on the peristyle, and I know some people are talking about it in the chat, so I just want to let everyone know. Chris Trevino, he's part of the USCFootball.com family, but he was actually employed by CBS, which is our parent company. They own 24/7 Sports. And there was a lot of layoffs yesterday, and Chris was part of that. And so we are going to keep Chris on. He's going to join our team now directly and be for the rest of the season, and hopefully, for beyond that. But the way it worked was when we came over from Scout, Chris was already at 24/7 Sports. CBS retained him and kept him on staff, and it's been that way since 2017 when we came over there. And so we appreciate all the time, and he's just done such a great job. We love Chris. And we're going to, so he'll be part of the team. He's going to Nebraska with us tomorrow, and he's going to, at least do the rest of the season. We'd love to keep him longer than that. And it's been 24 hours and just been a kind of a whirlwind. So I just want to let people know that we're asking the chat if you didn't hear. He was actually a CBS employee. CBS had a whole bunch of layoffs and stuff yesterday. Paramount, they got bought by Skydance. Is that the name of the show? Like Larry Ellison's kid owns that company, and they did a ton of There's been a whole bunch of layoffs if you saw anything across CBS, news shows, a lot of stuff got canceled. But Chris was part of that cuts, unfortunately. But he'll still be part of the site, and we're hopeful that we can keep him on longer than that. We're all just kind of figuring out the craziness that was going on. But I just want to address that because I know some people were talking about it in the chat.
I do feel for Chris, going to miss him if it ends up not working out for the rest of after this season, but we'll see. I just think for you, Ryan, you were getting some crap, and we found out at the same time, like, they didn't even give you a heads up that this was happening.
No.
And I'm sorry for Chris, but they put you in a tough spot where at least they could have given you a heads up and said, hey, we're going to let one of your people go. Instead, we found out the same way when Chris let us know. So that was really out of nowhere and a real unfortunate thing. And yeah, just feel for Chris. So I'm glad that at least in the short term here, he'll still be with us. And like you said, hopefully we can figure something out with him for the long term.
Yeah, Chris is great. I don't know. Did you get to work with him?
Yeah, he's the best. He's awesome.
Chris is awesome. I don't think he likes you that much, India.
I know, that's what I've heard.
No, he's great. Chris is awesome. And it's funny, when he first joined us, we were in this room and he got a live, well, he was in a tattoo parlor, but he got his 10K tattoo that looks like 18K live on tunnel vision. Like we literally tattooed his, because he was like trying to get to 10,000 followers. He's over like 30,000 now.
Yeah,
or whatever,
way over that now, yeah.
And he got it tattooed live on our show. He's just so funny. In the very beginning when he first joined, I mean, super quiet kid. He would just, do his work. And, like, do you want to come on the podcast? He was like, oh, I don't know. And he came on the first one. He thought he just did terrible. And they were like, hey, do you want to do instant analysis? Like video? Oh, I don't know. And it just slowly came along. Like live video, like, oh, no way. And now he just, he's created that show with Gerard, the composite 2-star recruits. He does the Helium Boys. They created merch for their shows. He's just come a long way. And we've both seen him live doing improv and stuff. So Chris has really come out of his shell. It's great to see him grow as a friend and a person and as a journalist and everything over the last several years. So, yeah.
And if you want to hear him talk about it, the whole situation, he did do the podcast, the 2-star last night, and that's out. So they talk about that for a long time. And I know he's not here, but the outpouring of just admiration that he got, whether it was on Twitter, on the Peristyle, I know a bunch of people reached out to him via text and via phone call. Even though it's a really crummy situation, I hope that made him at least feel pretty good, because that was a pretty big outpouring of support and just how many messages. He's my favorite guy. If he's gone, I'm out of here. Like, that's bad for business. We got to keep him around.
Yeah, no, we want to keep him around. Yeah. But yeah, people even in the chat are saying their favorite person. He's not even here. Come on.
Yeah, I'll put it up.
We're dressed up. No, Chris.
He dressed up as a tiger last year.
As far as costumes go, Chris crushes that. Like, he does a great job. So I don't know if he's going to want to do the Sunday show. Maybe he'll dress up for that one if he wants. But we'll see.
We'll see.
Nice.
Awesome.
So I thought it was important we talk about that. So thank you
we probably should have did that at the very top.
let people in. Yeah, well, hey, we did it. Second segment, I guess.
Yeah, we got. There's also some really important business, India. I don't think I've told you about this. Can you hit the breaking news button?
Absolutely.
Okay. It's up top there. This is really, it's not that important, but click the last picture that I just added, India. I've been playing golf for, I don't know, maybe 30 years. Today I got my first hole-in-one.
Hold on. Where are the claps?
I was playing Skylinks earlier with some buddies, as you can see there. And, it was a hole number 9, par 3. I think it was 175 yards or so. Hit my 7-iron, just right at it. It was rolling, and then it just disappeared. And we all went bananas on the tee box. So we don't have video of the shot or anything, but I filmed myself running from the tee box all the way and then picking up the ball out of the hole and everything.
That's
so,
epic.
I've been playing a long time, never had a hole-in-one. It's been close, but that was just like super fun. So,
Did you celebrate?
Yeah. So the tradition, if you get a hole-in-one, is you have to buy drinks for the other people. One of the guys I was with doesn't drink, but we bought a round at the it was the 9th, so we went right to the clubhouse and I bought drinks for the guys, and then afterwards bought a round of drinks and some hot dogs and stuff. So
that's awesome.
yeah, so it was fun. Yeah, if you get a hole-in-one, it could cost you a lot of money. Like, you're in a club or something, like you got to buy drinks for everybody. Luckily, it wasn't too bad, but I would have paid it. I didn't care. Like, that was like one of the coolest things. Like, just to see
That's
the
so
ball
cool.
rolling and when it just disappears, because it's 175
Right.
yards away, so you can't see it really well. And it just goes away. We're like, oh my god, we also went bananas
Crazy.
just jumping around.
Now you have a
We gotta
hole-in-one
get-
hole.
I have a hole-in-one.
Yeah,
Yeah, like that's
That's
so
awesome.
I'm in that category now.
We got to get like satellite footage or something.
Yes, maybe there's some spy satellite. Yeah,
Or like
call,
a camera in a tree or something.
But yeah, like save the ball on the scorecard. Like you can on Amazon, you can buy like a little plaque or whatever and put that in there. So my buddy James got one.
That's so
and so he
cool.
did that. So do that. But anyway,
That's awesome.
While we were like off topic, I'm sure everyone's enjoying
That's
that.
great breaking news.
Yeah. Well, so I'll have a smile on my face when USC goes to Nebraska. Are you looking forward to this trip, Connor?
I am. This was the one that I had highlighted because Nebraska just seems like a really cool spot to watch a college football game. The fact that the fans are so passionate, but I've heard very kind as well, which is always nice.
Yes.
I know it's kind of in the middle of nowhere for us again, and we'll have a flight and then a drive, but I am looking forward to this one. This was the one from the beginning of the season that I really had circled on the calendar, and I think it's shaping up to be what we expected, where we we knew they'd go 4-0 to start the year. Illinois could have gone either way. Notre Dame, tough place to play. Michigan, we thought could have gone either way. They're 1-2, and those could have gone either way games. Well, here's another one. And if you go 2-2 in those games, you're doing okay in my book.
Yeah, and I think this is one where I circled this as like my barometer game going into the season.
Yes, you did. We had a big conversation about that.
Yeah, and it's turning out to be that way. Like it's kind
You
of
got
like
a lot of flack for that.
And I was right. Buddy the Elf was correct. This is like a directional game where if USC goes and loses to Nebraska as a 6.5 point favorite, I mean, now you're staring at 7-5 in the face. Like that's a realistic possibility. Which after the way the way the offense is playing and everything, but you get a win there, and now you're like, okay, 9-3 wouldn't be so terrible. And Oregon doesn't look like I think Oregon's not Ohio State or Indiana this year. Now I think they're going to get up to play USC, and they played poorly, I think, against Wisconsin, but that was like a monsoon and stuff, and maybe that'll happen again. I don't know. But I feel like this is a situation that you win this game, and it could be good things, and you lose it could be bad. And this is the one I circled from the very beginning of the season, and I think it's sort of coming to I've been doing this for a while, people. So just listen to me. If I tell you something, it's going to be true. No, but it could have gone different ways. But the way the season went, not exactly the way I thought, but this is sort of like that pivotal game. It's the road game, but it's not the Illinois, Notre Dame, or Oregon road game. It's the road game that you really need to win, and it's a winnable one. You're a touchdown favorite. Just go in and win that one. So yeah, I think we called this correctly, and which way this goes, I think the whole season can go in that direction. It's like turning a cruise ship. Like you turn it one way or turn it another. It's going to be hard to turn it back.
Does the cold weather scare you at all? Going to be below 30 degrees, it sounds like?
I've not acknowledged. I know people in the chat are telling me I'm not acknowledging the temperature yet. So I have my jacket, my
the jacket.
What's it?
Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel jacket.
How could you forget?
I don't know. Like I forget. I'm old. I forget a lot
there
of stuff.
There it is.
There's the Cracker Barrel jacket.
The jacket.
I got that. It's not good in the rain. It's been in 2 rainy situations. At Purdue, it really wasn't getting wet, but at Notre Dame, it certainly did. And now with is it Illinois? Illinois was the one we.
Illinois was too hot.
Illinois, yes, it was too hot. Didn't bring it to Illinois. But it's undefeated on Big Ten road games. So hopefully it's going to be warm enough. Want to know?
Big
yes.
sample size.
Yes. Hey, don't it's the jacket. Hopefully it keeps me warm. I might need some layers under it because it's definitely going to be cold. But I'm trying not to acknowledge the temperature. Is that a good way to go, India? Like,
yeah,
just not,
I think
like,
so. Somebody in the chat said it's 48 currently there.
Yeah, but I've heard in like the 20s. Like I moved away from that stuff, people. I know we both. Now India was just there, but it wasn't. It was like the fall.
It actually was so. It was perfect. I loved the weather.
Leaves are changing. Like it's nice. Yeah, that's cool. But
get it done on the road.
In December, no, it's not nice. I don't like the cold that much, so we're going to be going into it.
Spread has moved down on DraftKings from 6.5 to 5.5, so a little smaller. I know when we do the pick'em, it'll be 6.5. I think USC should win by 3. That's the number that I've targeted, and I would be very happy with that. Any kind of win is huge, obviously, based on the track record. But I guess, Ryan, so I talked about slowing down Nebraska's running game. Like, don't you feel like that's really the only way they can keep up with USC? I watched that Northwestern-Nebraska game, and the Northwestern quarterback, Preston Stone, he was only pressured 9 times. He had all day to sit back and just do whatever he wanted, and that Northwestern receiving core, a few okay players, but nothing special, and Stone is a guy who was at SMU and lost his job. Like, they're just not a great offense. If Maiava has a ton of time to throw, I just have a hard time envisioning USC not getting to that 28 to 30-point mark. And you'd hope the defense would hold up its end of the bargain in that situation, but after 2 weeks ago, you never know.
Yeah, I think on the offensive side, you don't want to turn the ball over. He had 2 interceptions against Notre Dame. I don't think you can let that kind of stuff happen, and it's going to be cold or whatever. But USC still only has 9 punts on the season, so 1.3 punts per game. I know I talk about punts way too much. No one's even under 2. So USC is like by far and away the team in the country that punts the least. I think they're going to be able to move the ball. And when you're talking about the defensive side, Emmett Johnson, I think he's the player that can really hurt you. But what's scary about Dylan Raiola, he's a short, a lot of short passes. He's completing 72%, something like that. we've seen USC kind of play off, and if you can dump it off a bunch and
They're going to have
break
to
it,
switch that up.
they're going to have to. Yeah, I think they're going to have to press a little bit more because I think then you could play into Dylan Raiola's hands, and if he gets some confidence, it's like making a few three throws, or India like drains her first couple threes like she normally does. Then it's like, hey, now everything's gonna the hoop looks bigger, and I don't think you can allow him to get those easy completions. He's taken a lot of check down stuff. They're not pushing it down the field as much, but that high percentage I think scares me a little bit. It's not. I don't think it's like a scary player, but Luke Altmaier, he had a lot of success doing a lot of different things. I think Raiola can have some of that if USC is going to play off again. But I think the player that can hurt you the most is probably Emmett Johnson. But I could see a game where Raiola is like, 28 of 35 and 250-something yards, and a lot of it's just broken tackles at the line of scrimmage or something.
Nebraska wishes they had Altmaier as their quarterback. I think Raiola.
You are not a Raiola fan.
Pretty clearly a step below, just because the games. This is setting up for me to crap on him, and then he'll lead Nebraska to a win.
Yeah, by the way, Nebraska fans in the chat, just you want this because you're going to say, like, see, we told you.
When you watch a lot of Nebraska, like, the one thing I always notice is 3rd and 7, he throws it 6 yards. 3rd and 8, he throws it 7 yards. He never gets it to the sticks, and that's a little bit on the receiver too. But, oh, man, if I was a Cornhusker fan, I would be so frustrated because you know where you got to go to, and they're consistently behind the chains, a lot of 4th and shorts against Northwestern specifically. But even early in the year, that was popping up. I just don't understand why on those plays he doesn't, or the receiver doesn't. There's just no connection for them to get where they got to go because they complete a lot of passes, but they're consistently short.
Yeah. Jeff in the chat says Royala holds the ball far too long. That should play into our line getting to him. Yeah, I think getting some pressure from the defensive front is going to be big, and really just figuring out what's going on at linebacker. We do our question exchange, and so I'm doing it with the guy that the people cover Nebraska, people cover USC. We kind of exchange questions, and they're asking like some of the defensive weaknesses. I'm like, I only see 3 weaknesses with the defense: the defensive line, the linebackers, and the secondary. Like that was it. But like as far as the underperforming unit, I think it's the linebackers would be the most. And will there be some sort of change there? I mean, Eric Gentry makes a lot of plays, and but are you going to see Jaden Walker or whatever coming in and play middle? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what they're going to do, but they just need more production out of that group especially, and I think it'll help other things out. I mean, that's a group that can kind of clean things up, and when you're not cleaning things up there, and you got leaky stuff happen in the secondary, and some good plays and bad plays with the defensive line, you really need those linebackers to kind of like glue it all together. It just hasn't worked.
I wonder if we'll see more Jaden Walker. He spoke this week, and Desmond Stevens didn't. That doesn't necessarily mean anything, but when we asked Walker, has your role changed over the past couple of weeks? He said he's gotten a lot more reps, so I don't know if those were first-team reps, but it would be logical that USC might make a linebacker change at the Mike spot after what we saw against Notre Dame, where there were just a lot of mistakes there, and still feel good about Desmond Stevens in the long term, but that was just a tough game for him against Notre Dame. Jaden Walker only played 22 snaps on defense. I think Stevens played 62, so maybe he eats into Stevens' workload a little bit. That would be a fix that I think would make some sense.
Yeah, they need some fixes on the defensive side. We'll see. It's not as explosive an offense as what we saw from Notre Dame, but I think you need to feel good about like, hey, this is a good running back. It's not Jeremiah Love, but Emmett Johnson can do a lot of damage, and you just can't let him have a career day like you've done with some of the other guys.
Don't you think USC will have a chip on its shoulder, right? Don't they have to?
You have to, but will they? I don't know. Do you feel different? The vibe I got just coming out of the Illinois loss in the bye week, I just felt it was a little bit different, and it may be because you did bounce back. Like it's hard to have multiple bounce backs. Like when you bounce back and you're like fix things. If you remember like Tim Tebow in Florida, I think they lost like Mississippi State, and he gave that impassioned speech about we're never going to that effort again. Like it was like we played poorly. We're way better than this team. We're not going to let that happen again. And not that USC is like a lot better than Notre Dame, but they're in the same category, and they weren't able to match their really good performance against Michigan anywhere close to that against Notre Dame. And I think that's can be a little discouraging for players knowing like, man, we thought we got this back. We got it back. You shank your drive on 3, and then on 4, you're like, you stripe one. You're like, oh, I'm back now. And if you shank the next one, you're like, okay, well, I'm not back. And
Stop describing what I do, Ryan.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, but if you feel like you've got some things fixed, and I think USC felt really good about themselves in the Michigan game. Like there was the softness. There, you aren't tough and West Coast football and blah blah blah. And then they shut a lot of people up. And you don't want that to just go away. It's sort of like the Notre Dame momentum shifts, where like, oh, you score the opening touchdown and it's a great catch by Lake McCree, and then you just give up a 63-yard run to Jeremiah Love, or you take the lead with Jacoby Lane and the 60-yard play or whatever, and the 2-point conversion, and then you give up a kickoff return for a touchdown. Like you got that big play by beating Michigan, and then you just gave it right back, and that's kind of been the theme. And I don't know, can you get that back again? Like they felt like you had it. You don't want to give it up right away, and USC's kind of giving it up right away.
What was especially frustrating too was, to your point, they felt like they figured something out with that 3 linebacker set that worked against Michigan really well. And then look at Shotgun's participation chart. That's when USC was at its worst against Notre Dame. Like the Notre Dame coaches kind of pantsed USC's coaches, where they thought, oh, you figured this out? Oh, yeah, you did figure this out. We're going to run for 63 yards right down your throat every time. Like they were totally outmatched. The blocking was fantastic. Like Notre Dame had a plan after they saw USC adjust, and then they adjusted to the adjustment, and now USC needs to adjust to the adjustment on the flip side. That 3 linebacker set looked great against Michigan, looked awful against Notre Dame. We'll see what it looks like if they go with it against Nebraska.
That's the hard one to figure, because I mean, India, maybe you want to comment on this too, but like if USC said, hey, we're going to like put an extra linebacker in the box, and then Notre Dame was like, we're going to counter that by throwing the ball deep into your, less populated secondary. And you're like, oh, they got us. But they ran at the extra linebackers. It's like, hey, we're going to guard the perimeter, and everyone's draining threes. You're like, wait, they should have been pounding the ball inside. Like, so if you're guarding the perimeter and somehow they're still draining threes, like that's got to be the most discouraging thing. USC put extra linebacker in there, and that's when Notre Dame had the most success running the ball. And when they put the nickel package in, they did a better job. So that's a weird one to me.
Yeah, I mean, you described it perfectly in basketball terminology. If that happened in a basketball game, people would not be very pleased and would be looking like, what is going on? What is happening? And that's exactly what happened. So I'm hoping they can figure it out for this Nebraska game.
Yeah, if they move the personnel around. But, yeah, I mean, isn't that a little surprising? Like, the extra linebacker made you worse at run defense? Like, I don't know.
Well, they
That's
weren't.
so counterproductive.
Jayden Walker said yesterday we weren't prepared. He pretty much said they didn't know what they were doing. We didn't know what gaps to be in, and he said we weren't prepared.
It's Notre Dame, people.
I'm a big fan of Jayden's, but this comment was telling. He talked about how they were hungrier to play Michigan than Notre Dame, which
can't have that.
Buddy, no like.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. How do you not get up for Notre Dame?
Yeah.
We talked about it. We beating it like a dead horse. But, man.
You got to get up for this one. This is a big one. It's inexcusable to not get up or not be as prepared as you possibly be. Notre Dame wanted that so bad. Like, they took that game personally. They wanted to beat USC. If they were blaming USC for ruining
it's almost like they treat it as a rivalry and USC doesn't, which I don't get, which
I said that
grinds my gears.
I said that after that grinds my gears. I said that after the show, I think on our Sunday show, and that was sort of like a theme that I just kind of popped in my head, and I kind of ran with it a little bit. And I got some pushback from people at USC, and it just was like, I mean, I can't tell you, like, that's what I saw. Like, it looked like
that's what the players said.
Yeah,
that's what they told us. Another player told us
that's inexcusable.
That just we'll treat it like any other loss. And then you hear the comments yesterday, like, you're not wrong. We're being told that.
Yeah, it just didn't feel like you get a gut feeling about this stuff. It didn't feel like this was the end all be all. I felt for Michigan it was. Like, they were they put it all in, they were all in on that one. I don't know how you can't do that against Notre Dame. Notre Dame felt like this was like, hey, these people don't want to play us anymore. Like, whatever, like, chip on your shoulder you could put in there, there was no mercy in this dojo when it came to that. And USC was just sort of like going in there hoping that they play well and win. And that's just not the attitude you could take. And I don't know what it's going to be like for this one. Are you going to just treat it like any other road game? Like, this is like quadruple circle after after losing to Nebraska. I mean, losing to Notre Dame. Double circle. I got a double circle on this scorecard today. Seeing that little one with the two. Oh, hell yeah. Sorry. I'm still happy.
He's reminiscing.
You should.
Yeah.
Happy.
It's rare. It's rare. Do you have any friends that have that?
No.
Yeah. I
have a lot of friends now.
Yeah. And one of my best buddies, he got one. It's funny. We have a really.
My dad has one.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
He got it when he was like 11, though.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, still, that's.
Like in
grandma
putt-putt
was-
or like an actual
No, an
golf?
actual. My grandma was really good at golf. She is 3, and I didn't get the genes. And double eagle.
Oh, double eagle, nice. But we have a buddy that's like 6'7", awesome. He lives down in Atlanta now, and like he's like a +3, or I mean not +3. He's like a 3 handicap, like really good. He drives par 4s, like he just mashes the ball, and we play with him a lot, down in his club, and he's never got a hole in one. And my buddy goes down there to his club, like visiting him, and gets a hole in one there in front of him. He plays the same course, the same like he eagles he gets tons of eagles and birdies all the time. And I think he's birdied like every hole on his course, and he's never got a hole in one. So I got to text with him a little bit today. It's like,
That's
I got
golf.
one. He's
That's
way better
golf.
golfer than me, but yeah.
It's hard. I played putt-putt with my friends this past week, and I couldn't even get one in putt-putt. It's frustrating.
India, I'm sure you get the technique down. I could
Yeah.
see you being good at golf. Like
I know. I actually was at a driving range. I used to golf when I was little.
Oh.
And then I stopped because obviously I got into basketball. But I went back into the driving range this weekend, and it was kind of fun. It was hurting my hands a little bit, but it was a lot of fun.
We got a couple calls in the queue.
Let's go.
My
Call
apologies,
time.
Dylan Albuquerque. He's been in there for like 14 minutes. My fault. We just got on these weird tangents with Chris and my hole in one. Dylan, I know you're very excited for my hole in one, I'm sure. But welcome to Tunnel Vision. How you doing, man?
Yeah, no worries. I think it's been 29 minutes, so it's all good. Hey, so one thing I was just kind of worried about, I was looking at these streaks. Nebraska losing 28 games in a row against ranked opponents. And who better to have coming into your place with a USC team that can't win on the road. So I was just worried about that. I wanted to see what you guys think about that streak. Connor mentioned some, historical performances against USC, and that's a historical streak. Just worried about them breaking that against us. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Dylan. Sorry, I guess it was longer than what I thought.
Something has to give.
Yeah, USC. So USC technically covered the Notre Dame game on the road because it shifted to 10.5 late, but I'm not counting that. Like, that was not a cover. Like, they were 9.5 most of the time, but they're technically getting that. They didn't cover against Illinois. They were a favorite. They didn't cover against Purdue as a big favorite and won by 14 or whatever. Last year, they didn't cover on the road. Like, it's just been tough for USC to go on the road, especially as a favorite, and cover these spreads. They lose outright. And Nebraska, whenever you play a ranked team, now USC had a bye week and became ranked, so I don't know what that said. Like, they didn't play, and
They should have been ranked before.
They should have been.
I mean,
They're
change,
a legit
but
ranked team. Yeah.
They're good, and it's frustrating when they lose.
Yeah, they beat
because
Michigan. They beat the
they're
crap
better.
out of Michigan at home, and Michigan came to Lincoln and beat, Nebraska. So I don't. Yeah,
Should
it's
be
like
6-1.
So it's one of those things that, like, I don't know which one of these things gives. I'm just not convinced that USC can go on the road and win. And that streak is pretty wild when they play like a ranked team. But I don't know. We'll see which one gives. But one of them is going to have to give this weekend.
They've been awful in these situations. So another reason I like USC. Nebraska has some of that choke in him for sure. Northwestern almost tied the game at the very end against Nebraska. Nebraska actually got away with a hold on that last play of the game.
Oh yeah.
So
they could have tied it, or yeah.
I think it's unfortunate to say USC winning is expected, but would tell us a lot. USC losing as a 5.5 point favorite in this game and breaking that streak, doesn't that do more damage than the gains that they would get if they win? Like, it's huge if they win. I'm not trying to underscore that at all, but if they lose, it's like, really? You're going to end that streak against this team that they just clean up on average Joes, and you're better than that? And you look like, again, why do they play down to their competition? On paper, USC really should win this game, but they're not played on paper, as Chris keeps reminding me all week.
Yeah, so the Michigan game was just all important on all sides. Notre Dame, there was a lot more upside than downside. Like, you expected to go in that one and probably lose, but if you beat Notre Dame, there was a lot of upside there. This one, I agree with you. There's a lot more downside in this one. Like beating Nebraska is good, and I think it's important. But it was sort of like beating Purdue. Like you kind of needed to do it. There wasn't the kind of upside besides like, hey, you won a game on the road. This would be like, hey, you won a game against a team with the pulse on the road. But the downside is more significant. So like it's a lot steeper going down than going up, I would say.
You can't lose 2 road games when you're pretty much a touchdown favorite. You got to win one of them. I guess last year they did that, but you
They
can't
did
do
a bunch. Yeah, big favorite. We got 2 more calls in the queue.
Let's go.
This looks like Mitch in New Jersey. Mitch, you're on Tunnel Vision.
How's it going, guys? What do I look like? I'm just kidding. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
And everything. Yeah. Well, my grandson's going as Sully, so I hope he has a good time tomorrow. I think our defensive line will bounce back. We have talent there. But I like the competition with these 2 quarterbacks. I think these 2 quarterbacks are going to be facing each other on Sundays, too. I think they're both first-round picks. I think we have more talent on the offense also. I think we should win by more than 7, I hope. Anyway, I don't want to talk anymore. I don't have this little accent here, but that's what they tell me. Thanks for taking my call. Enjoy. Stay warm out there.
Thank you.
Mitch.
Thanks, Mitch.
So he's high on the quarterbacks.
He is, yeah. And you definitely sound like you're from New Jersey, Mitch, so no worries. Yeah, that's cool.
And the defensive line bouncing back. That's what he started with. It's a great opportunity for them because Nebraska's offensive line is not great. They've had some injuries, which have made their issues worse. A lot of heat's been on Raiola's uncle, who I think is the O-line coach, right? It's either his dad or his uncle. I think it's his uncle.
I think it's uncle.
And
Interesting.
he's a big reason why his nephew obviously is at the school, but the
And he
fans
played
are
there
now-
too, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
the fans are all upset with him. It has not been good. It's a great chance for USC to go in and say, hey, we didn't play very well 2 weeks ago. Let's go and show people what we're made of, but they got to do it.
Looks like we got Dr. K. Let's pull him up.
Hi, how you doing?
What's up, Doc?
I'm going to go off script here real quick once. India first. What was your best game ever?
Oh.
Like of all time?
Yeah.
Of all time. Yeah.
I had 42 points in middle school in 8th grade one year, and then I had like 30 in high school. Probably my career.
Nice.
Woo.
Yeah.
Automatic.
Wow, that's great. Ryan, what's your best outfit during this time of year?
Best outfit.
Yeah, what you're wearing.
Yeah, like
I've seen you for many years.
Buddy the Elf is pretty good. I think one of my favorites is The Greatest American Hero. Actually, I probably use this wig too. It's an old '80s show, and the guy had like he had like this alien suit that he would fly around, but he was like kind of bumbling. And yeah, that was one of my favorite ones. It's a great you can go YouTube that, India. It's pretty good. The Greatest American
I'll
Hero.
YouTube it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Connor, great NASA outfit. I was in Huntsville, Alabama years ago, and they have, you can go there for, they have space camp, but they have it for adults, okay?
Wow.
So if you want to go there, it's a blast to go through it. We went there, and it was a lot of fun. Now, here's a real question about the team. Quarterback, okay? How are we going to get him to run?
That's a great question because
USC's quarterback, you're talking?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Lincoln Riley was asked about Maiava's running when he didn't have a single attempt against Notre Dame. He was asked on Monday, what did he make of that? What does he think of Maiava's running? And he just said he's doing an exceptional job. He's always making the right decision. I get the sense that they don't want him to get hit, but I don't know. I think he's leaving yards on the table, and the whole thing with Miller Moss last year, he's not a runner. It limits the offense. And now Maiava's not being a runner, and I think it limits the offense.
Yeah, I think you're right. I
Well,
think
real quick, is it there? Yeah, I'm sorry. Real quick, isn't there? I mean, we saw this with Caleb, and certainly that Notre Dame game, and then keep them protected, so they're going to go to the pros. And you hear a lot of talk about that. So, what's your feeling about that and protecting him?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, that's the feeling I get. They're not saying that they're trying to protect him or anything, but I think you want to give yourself the best chance to win. And we've seen games where you just pull out all the stops, and the quarterback who runs like I'm not any specific game, but like a pretty good quarterback that can run pretty well, then goes bananas and he's running a lot because it's like they're not accounting for him and they're just going to take advantage of it. And you take a bunch of hits, but you're moving the football. And I think there was at least some opportunities to let Jayden Maiava run a little bit, and I think it probably helps your entire offense where you're okay, now you got to account for that. When you don't have to account for that at all, I think they were teeing off on certain things. They could take away Mekhi Lemon. They certainly took away USC's running ability with the running backs, but maybe that opens up things a little bit more. There's a little more space for Lemon. There's a little more space for the running backs if Maiava took it off and ran a couple times. So, yeah, it's hard to – I don't know why. I don't know. You're, like, protecting him for what. But, yeah, I think you want to –
Protecting him for what? His health.
Yeah, but, like, you need to win games, and this is like Notre Dame. Like, I think this is one where, like, you can put all your chips on the table for that one.
I agree. I would have liked him to have run the ball in that game.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Doc.
Thank you.
Got another call.
Oh,
We do.
let's
There's
keep it
like
on.
all over the place. Yeah, I'm sorry we didn't. We can only have 2 in the queue at once, and we had 2 in there for a while, so
He said
people are
29
calling
minutes.
in. Yeah, sorry. He was like, I've been waiting for 29 minutes.
Sorry, Dylan.
Who's this one? Oh, Dick from
Hey,
Dallas?
it's Nick. Yeah, it's Nick. Hey, Ryan, it's Nick. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Very great.
Hey, yeah, I just want to know, Ryan, I'm a big fan of your show. I just want to see where SC's mental focus will be going into this game in Nebraska. Coming up that game against Notre Dame. It was there. The game was in their hands. Considering the quarterback from Notre Dame had a pretty bad game in the bad word too. And I remember I called last time. I questioned the play call Lincoln did when he had Lemon through that pass play. I thought it really backfired, but I think, looking at this game versus Nebraska this weekend, I just wanted to see where SC's mental state will be. I think we'll be fine. I think the spread will be okay because I was listening to Ryan on Mason, Ireland. I think we were on yesterday. I think the line is right where it is, but I think the SC will cover. I think we'll be okay. I just want to see where their mindset will be, offense and defense. I think we'll be okay. I think Maiava will bounce back, and I think we'll be fine going into this game, especially with the defense. The defense, when they gave a lot of yards to Love, they clearly made him a Heisman into that game. And we all know that a lot of these teams, they want to stop the run. They want to run on USC, but I think, going into this game, I think SC has to stop the run and just play with the flow of the game. But moving forward, I think we'll be okay. I think we'll cover the spread, and I think going into this game, we'll win. And it'll prep us moving forward with, the games against Iowa and obviously Oregon on the road. And we'll be okay. Let's just, be positive and keep moving forward, though. And, thanks for taking my call. Let's fight on, and we'll be okay.
All right.
Nick loves the positivity. I think you picked USC against Notre Dame, right? No, it's okay.
Yeah, I think so.
And then after he has that similar message, so he just wants everything to be all right. Which I understand.
But I think, look, if I didn't know what USC had done on the road and I was evaluating this game, I would say, yeah, I think this is a spread that USC should cover. I think the offense is elite. I think even if the defense has as long as they don't have like a horrible, horrible day, I think the offense can still win you the game. So even if the defense plays poorly, I think the offense is that good. But we've just seen this team play on the road. That's the only problem that I have. And so if just on the merits of the game, I think I would be picking USC and to cover the spread. But I know I've watched it. I've flown all these games. I've seen them play. And, so it's hard until they do it, it's hard for me to say they're going to play up to the way I think they should play.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I think that's it for the calls. Sweet.
We have a question that keeps coming up. Connor, any injury updates, if you have any, especially for the O-line and running backs? People are wanting to know about Elijah Page.
Page, I think, will play, but Lincoln Riley did not say with 100% certainty that that's going to happen. The fact that he suited up against Notre Dame, I think, has to be a good thing. That shows that he's close, but nothing set in stone with that. And then the running backs, more King Miller, more Brian Jackson, more Harry Dalton, I'd imagine. I think it's going to be those 3 for the second game in a row.
Yeah, is any Wally Pipping happening with Elijah Page, you think? Or I think they put him back if he's healthy.
I don't think so. I'm with you. Maybe before Notre Dame, there was a consideration, but with how the offensive line played in that game, I think you're better off with him.
No, that's a good point. Yeah, they were playing well. I think in general, the offensive lines played pretty well.
Yeah, Michigan looked great.
Yeah, mixing and matching, moving guys around. They've played well. But then you have that stinker against Notre Dame. You can't run the ball, and you're like, okay, Elijah Page is back. Put him in.
I agree.
Yeah.
Cool.
Should we do some questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
Andy's all over it.
We don't have too many today. Well, we just answered the injury one. Okay, this is a fun hypothetical from Andrew.
Okay.
Riley leaves for Florida, and the Trojans bring in Marcus Freeman. Would the USC alumni in the room go for that?
Wow, that's a lot of
Crazy hypothetical.
Yeah, that's like a Dr. Zeus thing or something.
Yeah.
So if you remember, when USC had the opening before, Brian Kelly's name came up, who was the Notre Dame coach at the time, and that's more
That
of
wouldn't have been good.
no. Obviously he flamed out, got hired at the same time as Riley, and Riley outlasted him. But there was a lot of reasons why that could work. But I think it was he sort of ran its course at Notre Dame. Like you felt like he'd done about as much as he could do there, had success, Then they had that 4-8 season, and they revamped the whole staff, and then they have success again. And that seemed to make more sense. I think with Marcus Freeman, yeah, that's like I feel like you would need reasons for him to leave Notre Dame specifically to go to USC, where Kelly was, he's just been there a long time, and you don't have that with Marcus Freeman. If he goes somewhere, I think it's going to be more NFL or LSU or something like that. I don't know if you want to do that again. But
Rank these jobs: LSU, Penn State, USC, because he's not going to USC. But in this situation, he could potentially have his pick if Riley goes to Florida. I don't think he would pick USC in that situation. Do you?
No, I think LSU is going to be the top one there. Penn State, there's a lot of success, and just haven't been able to go over the hump. I'm not curious to see where that is. I still rank USC's job as super high, but I know some people in the industry don't. Just you're not having success. I know what USC like. We've seen things where not a lot of teams can start off like 1-3 and win the Rose Bowl, and USC did that with Clay Helton as the head coach.
But what does that mean?
Well, I mean, that's stuff you can do if you just get things right at USC. You can get it rolling. Like it doesn't take, a miracle.
So then, what's happening right now?
Yeah, they're hoping that it's going to turn around. But yeah, is Lincoln Riley the right coach? Like he has so many resources at his doorstep, and you gotta put it in there. But I don't think that would happen. As far as who was the other one leaving? What was it? Riley go to Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the problem is I think for Riley to leave on his own accord, it would have to be USC struggling, and then if USC's struggling, Florida's probably not going to want to hire him. It's so. Yeah, it's one of those things. If he was going to leave, I think it's more of because USC is struggling. I don't think it would be a Florida. It would have to be like a Baylor or something, right?
I think he does still have some cachet, though, because of the Heismans, where even if this was a flame-out situation at USC, I think he could say it's USC's fault, not mine. I'll go show it somewhere else. Don't you?
Yeah, that's possible. But was Florida won him at that point? Because
depends who they can get. It's all a musical chair game at this point.
Who do you think UCLA will try to get?
I heard today
James
that
Franklin?
Tosh Lapoy had a couple interviews at UCLA, but I don't know if that's 100%. Rumor, good rumor. Love to share the rumors with the listeners.
I mean,
would that get the needle moving in Westwood? I think it would.
I mean, the recruiting side for sure. I think just if Kirk Cignetti proved anything, at Indiana, get a guy that's really good at his job, and who cares if it's a level or two down,
Well, I think you want to get someone who can bring players with him.
Yeah, he did that with JMU. I don't think Lapoy's bringing dudes as that. So, but if you can get a really good group of 5 coach, like Eck from New Mexico. Now they lost a lot of players last year, but they're winning a bunch of games. If you hire a sitting head coach from that kind of level, I think that would probably do pretty well in Westwood. If you get an exciting offensive guy, I remember Bob Toledo when they ran him out, he was a lot of fun to watch, man. They put up a bunch of points, and you put butts in the seats. I think you want to make it entertaining. But I think at this point I would rather go with someone like a good head coach that's just not it doesn't have to be in the Big Ten.
It's going to be fascinating. They might be the first domino to fall, but we'll see.
This is the craziest coaching carousel probably ever. As far as buyouts go, the most money it's ever been
It's crazy, the breakdowns.
dished out in buyouts.
Speaking of that question, we just got a super chat.
Oh,
Look at Connor all
let's
over
see. Thank you, GS7585. Does SC even have the money to buy out Riley and his staff?
If someone stepped up,
You always have the money. Like you
can
figure
find
out
the
a
money,
way.
yeah.
Yeah. Like I think the one thing that's been what the lesson that should be learned is don't give coaches that are like glorified PE teachers 10-year guaranteed contracts. Like just don't do it. I think that's what, but I don't think that's going to be the lesson that's learned here. But one lesson that is being learned is the best time to fire a head coach that's failing is now, and the second best time is the next time. You just want to do it when it needs to be done. If you look at Texas A&M, the biggest buyout we've ever seen, horrible, painful, and they get Mike Elko, and now they're like a top 3 team in the country. So if you stuck around with Jimbo a couple more years, you're not getting that. So I think what they're proving is that it's worth the money. Like it's sometimes, something expensive is a lot of times worth it. Not all the time, but sometimes it's worth it. You buy something that you really like, the super expensive car or whatever, and it's the best, your favorite thing you ever got. It was worth the investment you put in there. As big as these buyouts are, I think if USC has another 7-5 season and people are checking out and boosters aren't stepping up and they're not going to pay for the NIL money and all that stuff, I think the administration just has to go, we're going to figure out a way to pay this and eat it. It's not like, do I have $77 million in my pocket right now? Is this the only way we're going to have success? And that's something you can sell to people like, there's no way we're going to win unless we can buy this guy out. And then you can rally the money and things like that.
I still
That's my
maintain
opinion,
too early for these discussions because USC's ranked and they're 5-2 and get to 6-2. That's 8 out of 12 games still in the hunt for the college playoff. That would show progress. Like they lose this one, I'd understand those conversations ramping up a little bit. That's why it's such a big game.
But we got a super chat, so we had
No, I'm just saying.
Super chat. We got $10
in general.
Hell yeah.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. All right, let's go to our next question. Thank you to our Facebook viewers. That is still the same one. Hold on.
I do that sometimes. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know why it does that. Here we go. Shout out Thomas.
Hey, Thomas.
He said, automatic triple-double and boss man. What role do you think the misses in play calling versus Notre Dame will have the rest of the way? Will Lincoln Riley continue to be aggressive, or do you suspect he'll be more measured in his risk-taking? Thanks. Love you.
I feel like he should have been more aggressive with some of the 4th down calls where those, I guess, is passing on 4th and short aggressive. I just think that wasn't smart. Like just run it, and if you get stuffed, so what? You got a better chance of doing that than running vertical routes with your 4th receiver and your tight end, I think. So I don't know if that was an aggressive thing. I don't think we'll see a Mekhi Lemon throw again.
Yeah,
either.
In a rainstorm.
Yeah. He set him up for a loss on that.
Yeah,
but I expect him to still be aggressive.
Yeah, I think it's not aggression that was the problem. It was just really bad play calling. He called it stupid. Is that what he said?
That's
I
what
think
he
was the
called
word he
lemon
said.
throw. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he would want some of those back. Was it too aggressive when you played at Washington against the #1 pass defense and wouldn't run the ball at all, and you had Woody Marks like the MVP of the team like that? I don't think it's like an aggression thing. That's just more of a philosophy of how you want to attack this. And I think for Michigan, it wasn't about aggression, or it was just a great game plan, in my opinion, and it wasn't against Notre Dame. And now, to be fair, Notre Dame was taking away some of those things, and I think Lincoln Riley loves to be able to hit some of those quick hitters in the run game, and you pick up a bunch of yards, and it sort of build off of that, and probably more from the passing game building. You can build the run game, but Notre Dame took some of the easy things that USC does away, and I think it put more pressure on Riley as a play caller. He just didn't seem to respond all that well. So I think that's more of an anomaly game. I mean, he is an excellent play caller. Just years and years and years of elite offenses, like that tells you that that's facts. But you don't every time you have he unfortunately had a clunker game against one of the most important teams and on your schedule, and I think he would admit that too. It was not his best play calling day.
Well, and that's football too. He led him to a third quarter lead, which deserves a lot of credit. I know you got to win the game, but it wasn't like they were playing from behind the whole way. It was too bad what happened next. Like, you make mistakes, you got to overcome the mistakes. The problem was in this game, the mistakes were far too costly. But like, I do think sometimes in football we see that Michigan performance for USC, and it's like, oh, this is what it should be like every week. They should just dominate, and we're here. This is what it is. And just so much changes week to week, and it's all about how you overcome those mistakes. And obviously USC wasn't able to do that. And it's not just on offense, too. They gave up a back-breaking 100-yard kick return, and then the defense was terrible. So, yes, Riley didn't have his best game either. You throw all that together, and what do you get? You get a 10-point loss on the road. I still feel like he had not a great game, but it was good enough to the point where they took a lead in the third quarter, and then the wheels fell off. But it was all three sides. I don't look at it and say, Riley, the play caller, cost us this game. You can't give up all those rushing yards, and you can't give up the 100-yard kick return.
Yeah.
We've got 2 more questions, unless we got some other ones rolling in. We've got a question from SoCal Weddings. What do Lincoln Riley Heisman-level QBs, Baker Mayfield, Jalen Hurts, Kyler Murray, and Caleb Williams, all have in common? Answer: they could make plays with their feet. Maiava doesn't.
This sounds like last year all over again.
Yeah. We heard all about like Miller Moss can't be successful and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so there's a stat. There's these advanced stats, Connor. I don't know if you follow them at all. You're young enough. You're not. India, she's super young.
Advanced,
She's got like an app on her phone for
one.
advanced stats or whatever. But there's one. It's not that advanced, but it's called yards per attempt. So every time.
Is that even an advanced stat now?
I don't know. Whatever. I'm just
okay,
it's a bit. Can I let the bit go or no?
Yeah.
You're gonna screw up my bit. I almost said a bad word. You make me so mad. Where's my maple syrup? Okay, so yes, yards per attempt. So every time you drop back the pass, how many yards do you get? Doesn't matter if you complete the pass or not. Jayden Maiava is over 10 yards per attempt. He's the only quarterback in the country to be that. So I don't know if you want to say because he doesn't run, he's not. I mean, literally the best in the country at every time he drops back the pass. How many yards does the team get? He averages more than a first down every time he drops back the pass. So, yes, I would like to see him run a little bit more, but I wouldn't. I mean, the numbers he's putting up are pretty amazing.
I agree with that. He should run more, but the numbers are good enough to, if he's not, it's not a huge problem.
Yeah. Then why'd you ruin my bit? You know.
I didn't know where you're going with it.
That's okay. Just go with me. We got a super chat.
Oh, another one. Let's go. Hold on. Let me pull it up.
Let's go. Yes.
Happy Halloween. A few weeks ago, Automatic said, culture eats strategy for breakfast. I think that succulently describes USC's issues right now. I can't read. I need glasses. Succinctly.
Succulently.
No, it's hard to, like, because it's small. And
I
like,
swear I need glasses. I'm actually going to the eye doctor next week, guys. So
how do you shoot so well with, like, if you need glasses?
I don't know.
Do you have contacts or anything? Or
no. I think it's just
Holy
slowly
you would have been
progressed.
shooting you'd be more automatic with but
glasses,
I sit in that seat too, and sometimes, and that's that's more of a close thing, but it is kind of small. So yes, I get
I didn't see the IN.
Yeah, it's like easier for us to read like this monitor than I think for her right in front of it. But yes.
Anyway, yep. I handed you the assist.
Culture eats strategy.
Yeah, it does.
It's hard to be like Kamari Ramsey was a transfer, Eric Gentry was a transfer. These guys don't get the Notre Dame rivalry, blah, blah, blah. But the way that USC responded to that Notre Dame game and just how they played it, like you would hope the culture that starts from your head coach would have been, look, we might not make the playoff this year. Forget about having everything ahead of us. It's all about today against effing Notre Dame. We haven't won here since 2011. If we go out and we do everything we can and we lose, so be it. But, like, they just played like crap during some of those portions of it. And especially on defense, like, they didn't treat that like it was, oh, my God, we need this game, and if they win, it's the end of the world. Like, it seemed like it was the end of the world if Notre Dame let USC win and not vice versa. And I just wonder with that piece of the culture, like, I don't know why – even after the game, we're hearing players say, oh, you know, we treat it like other losses. Like, no, that one's got to hurt you a little more.
It's got to. Yeah.
I thought somebody was banging on the door. That was good.
Connor's getting all excited.
He's getting hyped up. We've got a question from Trojan Fight. Do we think Riley wanted to stick with a run that wasn't working too long versus Notre Dame?
No, you can't only pass it, and they did have a few good runs with King Miller. They were just outmanned up front, and it was a tough game to have to start those two running backs, kind of like the worst case scenario to have to play King Miller and Brian Jackson from the jump. So I think it was kind of the perfect storm, but no, I don't think he stuck with it too long.
Yeah, if he didn't run it at all and just kept throwing it, then people would be like, why did you just abandon the run? And, so yeah, I don't have an issue with like the ratio there. I think you got to try it, maybe try some different things, but that was really the first time we've seen it just kind of get shut down like that. The first half of Purdue, they shut down the run, and that might have been some Josh Henson stuff, but that same feeling I had for Notre Dame in the beginning of that one.
That LSU game last year, they totally shut down the run. That was awesome.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
We've got one last question from Bob Mack.
Bob.
What are your thoughts on the Ruins moving out of the RB?
What do you think, Ryan?
Okay, so yeah, this was some weird. So if you saw the report, like UCLA was looking to maybe get out of there. At least it goes for another 20 years.
Why is SoFi so much better? Won't no one just go to that?
Yeah, isn't it like bigger?
Yeah, people are actually starting to go now. And then the Rose Bowl was going to like sue UCLA.
Both are far from the campus.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I'm not sure. I don't really know what the heck's going on there. But Martin Jarmond is like, he got the vote of confidence from the chancellor, Julio, but I don't think he's doing a very good job. Like I think a lot of people really want to see him get fired. I think there was like a banner or something. I forget what they did. They did something that like advertise him getting. Maybe it was
like
fun.
50 players.
Oh yeah, I think it was
put out a
64 players.
message or
Yeah, the chancellor came back and said, he's our guy. And now you got this. Like, yeah, I don't think you need this. He has some momentum. Like, this isn't one you want to like. I don't know why this is coming out.
I'm
now.
sure there's a reason that we don't know. Jeff in the chat said SoFi's closer. It's not that much closer to.
Yeah, it is closer
Westwood.
for sure, and it's a cooler. Well, I mean, it's like a more modern venue. Like, it's not as historic, obviously, as the Rose Bowl. It's funny that the Rose Bowl would be fighting for this, but if you want to add like an extra game or something, like the whole neighborhood will like shut you down. So. They like what they want. Like, this is what we want, and we don't want to change it at all. No more games, but no less games either. This is the exact amount of games we want. That's the feeling I got.
Does SoFi hold more people than the Rose Bowl?
No, I don't. The Rose is in like the 75 range. I don't think SoFi's that big. I think it's more 65-ish. If I had to guess, I don't know.
They're never getting.
I was gonna say they don't get a lot of fans,
No,
so I
yeah,
don't know
like-
if that would. Yeah.
And like, how many tarps can you put up in SoFi to block the?
Yeah.
SoFi can get to 100,000.
Really?
Oh wow. So maybe not a good.
Yeah, but not for like. I don't think they do it for football games. That might be for concerts or something.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah, and the Super Bowl. They did it for the Super Bowl.
Oh.
And concerts.
But yeah, I guess you could do it. Like.
If anything, you got to move it closer to UCLA so
And
students
the Rose
can go.
Bowl's up to 90. It says on this.
Oh wow.
But I don't think UCLA is drawing 100 grand. So.
No.
Yeah, USC got that 77, I think. But the Rose Bowl, they did some renovations, but I think they were over 100 at some point, and then it was like, now it's a little under 90. But yeah, they're not pushing the limits there. But it got a little exciting. I think they got some juice.
Yeah.
I don't think you need this controversy right
No.
now, but I don't know why it's coming out now. But
That's all the questions we've got.
sweet. Well,
Somebody asked, can Buddy the Elf give a score prediction?
Oh, you gotta do that.
Earlier.
we do have to do that. Buddy will.
Everybody's
I-
saying how much you look like Will Ferrell.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
In
that's
this costume and everything. So
Ah.
they love it.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I feel like I think this is going to be like a 34-28 like USC win. Like, I'm going to go with the 6.5. So I'm going to say USC doesn't cover, but they get the win on the road. I do think the offense is going to travel. Cold is fine, but it's not going to be rainy and stuff. So, I mean, who knows? That's changed. It wasn't supposed to be rainy at Purdue, and we had 3-hour lightning delay. So I think, yeah, I feel like USC is going to score 30s-ish, low 30s, and Nebraska gets like 4 touchdowns. USC's kicker's been like automatic, like our automatic. 12-13, so maybe a few field goals in there and a few touchdowns. So I'll go like 34-28, but not covering the 6.5 point spread. If it's 5.5 now, then I guess they would. But
Yeah, it switches. I have USC 30, Nebraska 27.
Okay, so you think USC is going to win by a field goal?
Yep.
What do you got?
I had, I think, 42 to 35
Okay.
USC covers, but I was so conflicted.
A shootout.
Yeah. But I
42
went with
35.
it.
Wow, yeah.
Points,
We'll
points,
see.
points.
Yeah, we'll see.
I like it. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where Nebraska can, if they're running the ball effectively, like it's going to burn some clock and stuff. But Raiola, with the short passing game, we'll see. Like maybe he can do some damage too. I think in your situation or your scenario, India, like Raiola's probably going to have a pretty good game if they're scoring mid-30s or whatever. But then USC is probably not turning the ball over, probably not punting, and they're
Maybe a special
scoring
team
a lot.
score for both sides or something like that.
Yeah, that could be.
Couple field goals.
And, turnovers are a big deal. The whole thing with if you go back to the Minnesota game, like Nebraska just played very poorly, and Minnesota's had some up and down.
Yeah.
But they sacked him 9 times. Now that was on the road, but can USC get some pressure like that? And if USC is able to get after him that much, then I think it's going to be hard for this offense to go. Maybe Emmett Johnson goes crazy, but getting after him, Minnesota had a blueprint, and can USC do anything close to that? You get like 4, 5, 6 sacks or something, I think you got a really good chance.
I totally agree. Something about playing Minnesota on a short week at Minnesota, not to give any excuse, but isn't that not that surprising that they just look terrible? Like, I just feel like that's a tough spot.
Was it like 24-6 or something? I mean, it was like a
And
bad.
they played like crap. And Dylan Raiola has talked all about how they've rebounded so well and they're playing better. Let's see it.
Yeah, we will see.
We'll see. Well, that's it.
Good stuff.
Congrats on your hole-in-one, Ryan.
Yeah, that's
Thanks. Thank you.
epic.
I feel really good. And thanks, everyone, for watching, tuning in
See you in Lincoln.
live. Yeah. Oh, by the way, we will be at Barry's Saturday. So if you're going to Lincoln, Nebraska, bless your heart. I know there's a bunch of people already there. I think Jeff in the chat said he's already seen USC people there.
He's in
got
Omaha,
there,
yep.
He got there today. We're getting to Omaha a little bit late, so we're not going to do an event on Friday night, but we will do one Saturday starting at noon. Game kicks off at 6:30, so we'll be there for a few hours. It's kind of a pre-tailgate, or you could be your tailgate, whatever. But Barry's is a couple blocks away from Memorial Stadium. So show up there at noon. They got space for us. It'll be a bunch of USC people. And that's a big Nebraska bar. It's the biggest bar in the state of Nebraska, from what I was told. Yeah, there were some people on Twitter that were upset that we were doing an event there, but they were super friendly. And, so I think you'll meet some nice people, talk some USC football. If you're going to be there, come by Barry's around noon, and we'll be there.
awesome. Happy Halloween, guys.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah, happy